It's Wellness Wednesdays with Dr. Nancy, providing helpful tips on how to live your best life now.
Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday, Wellness Wednesdays. I hope that you all have been off to a wonderful start this week. And this week, I'm super excited to have a special guest on Wellness Wednesdays. It's a Dr. Ronke Komalafe. She is a MBA prepared and doctorate in behavior health. And she's going to talk to us today about what she's doing in the community. It's Advancing Integrated Health. It's a magazine that she's founder of, and she has a whole team to bring forth information as it relates to mental health, healthcare, innovation. And listen, if all of you're not able to catch any of our online live streaming events here on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, Dr. Nancy's Integrative Medicine, you can actually text Dr. Nancy, all one word, to 26786, and you can live stream and or binge all of the Wellness Wednesdays episodes, including this one right here. Dr. Kamalafe, it is so nice to have you on today to talk about what you're doing in the community. I'm super proud of what you're doing.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Nancy. Thank you for having me here.
Well,
I'm excited to talk to you.
Well, you know what? You've been doing so much, and I've been watching you and following your progress, and I know that you couldn't even be any happier. The team that you've built, we've talked in the past. You've been on the Dr. Nancy Knows Talk show as well, and you live and breathe and walk in your purpose, and that is to effectively be a change agent when it comes to mental health, behavior health in the healthcare arena, in all aspects of that division, right? Tell us what you're doing and what you're super excited about.
Absolutely. I can talk all day about this. I'm super excited. We recently changed the name of our company from Integrated Physical and Behavioral Health Alliance to Advancing Integrated Health. It's still the same company, it's still the same integrated health, but we really want to focus and continue to let people know when it comes to integrated physical and mental health, it is not a one time issue. It's something that you have to continue to innovate and advance continuously in your practice, in your business, in your organization, and in your life to continue to get optimal outcome. So that's one of the things we've done. We just recently did a symposium called Integrated Health Symposium, where we brought in providers from physical health and mental health to come talk to us about integrated health. And we had 4 tracks of this symposium. The first track was AI, using AI to decrease burnout, which we had Microsoft New Wines come speak to us about. And then we had AI in mental health track, where we had innovative mental health tech companies come talk to us about how you can use AI in mental health. And then we had another track on integrated health. We had Mayo Clinic send doctor of behavioral health experts to speak to us about how they've implemented integrated health in Mayo Clinic. We spoke to Lee Health. We spoke to the president of Psychophysiological Association, and many other experts such as Summit Health spoke there. We also spoke about healthcare technology was another track, how to use wellness and therapy apps, how to advance and use HIE and EHR. And then we spoke about trends in integrated health and mental health. What are the VC world doing? What's private equity world doing? Who's acquiring who? We spoke about social determinants of health. And the reason we structured the symposium this way is to ensure that our audience and our community have the first-hand information about trends and innovation to help reduce cost and better outcomes. And of course, we have our magazine coming up soon.
That's right. The second edition is coming out, you said, at the end of the month. So, yes. Dr. Kamalafe, man, oh man, that 4-day symposium was wonderful, leading healthcare insights. And you talked about so many things that I wanted to mention to you as well. And so listen, everyone, your listeners here, the viewers, artificial intelligence is everywhere. And it's in healthcare, mental health, diagnostic imaging, it's everywhere. So, I mean, we have to talk about it. And then, the integrated health, it's so important to have multidisciplinary teams and organizations and companies to talk about the best way to care for our patients, our client population, our loved ones. And then you talked about psychosocial. That's in everything that we do. You cannot just single out one particular thing about a person. I mean, really, Dr. Kamalafe, it's all about the holistic part of a person. All mental health, mental, spiritual, physical, psychosocial, all of those things really play a major part. And then you talked about social determinants, really access to health care, mental health care. It's so important. Access is the key. If, I think where that technology is going now is the providers are coming to the clients, the patient population, because there should be no barriers to access to mental health and mental well-being. And then lastly, listen, venture capitalists, investors, it takes all of everything that we're doing to forward our initiatives about improving access to mental health and healthcare arena. So that's super exciting. I'm sure you had such a great response to that 4-day symposium that you're probably going to do it again. But that is so important to bring awareness and to the masses and talk about topics that are current and relevant, specific to people's needs. And that's what you're doing.
Absolutely. That is exactly what we're doing. Well said.
So the second edition in your magazine, tell us a little bit about what's going to go into that, how much work and effort, the types of, partners and providers and information people can expect.
Oh my God, it's packed. It is packed. Of course, we have AI in there. And the interview for the magazine happened early last year, even before AI became this big trend. I've been involved in AI since about 2019. So I'm very passionate about AI. And we'll talk to Advi now, where they talk about how they've been using AI to advance and improve patient engagement and patient experience, especially when it comes to the continuum of care as the patient comes in all the way through to when they see a provider. Of course, we have Dr. Nancy being featured in there. So you will get to see some of the new things she's doing and some of her expansion. We have one of the largest electronic health record company in the country being featured in there. We have an integrated health company being featured in there, telling us about bringing mental health into primary care and primary care into mental health. So we have quite a variety. And then we have innovators in integrated health, people who have been able to bring integrated health in areas where we don't see integration, right? So there's a lot in there that you would see both providers and technology companies that you've heard of and those that are emerging. They all have a platform in that in that magazine. And the good news about the magazine is we're releasing volume 2. We're preparing for volume 3. So folks who would like to be featured in there can always reach out and see if they can be part of volume 3.
That's awesome, Dr. Kamalafe. So that's a good segue. So please tell the viewers and listeners how to get in touch with you if they want to know more information about the things that you're doing, become a part of it, sponsors, investors, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. The best way to reach me is you can reach me on LinkedIn. Send me an email and I'll be happy to respond. Or you can send an email to info@I as in India, P as in Paul, B as in boy, H as in house, A as in apple.com. info@ibpha.com. Or you can also go to our website and click on contact us or subscribe and reach out with any questions you have, and we'll be happy to respond to you. But engage with us, and we'll be happy to collaborate, communicate, partner, provide whatever you need.
And she's absolutely right. Dr. Kamalafe and I have been collaborating and reciprocating and coordinating from the very start of our relationship. And she's true to her word. This is a third party validation testimonial to how, committed she is to her cause, and really work well to put forth the agenda of both parties to make it a win-win situation, because ultimately we're here to serve, and we're here to make a difference, and to be actively activated in that field of industry as well. There's a lot of people that are passionate about things and they're motivated, but a little stuck about the activation part. That's one of the hardest parts, right? So, but once you get started and you get this momentum, it's contagious, and it's so fulfilling, Dr. Komalafe. So again, kudos to you. You did mention a couple of different things that you've been following this technology of artificial intelligence for a number of years now. Has there been anything that has been surprising to you that you might want to share with individuals? Anything in particular?
A few. I just finished a speaking engagement about artificial intelligence right before jumping up. So I think there's a few things. It's really the shock of the healthcare industry when ChatGPT came out, of them embracing AI and just talking about AI. But in reality, we've had AI in healthcare for several years now, and we've been talking about it in healthcare for a couple of years, but without the acceptance. So thanks to ChatGPT and making AI, not the healthcare side of things, but AI free to everyone, we've seen a rapid adoption of AI in the healthcare world. We're not just seeing it in terms of provider engagement, we're seeing it in terms of patient engagement. We're seeing it both on the provider side, we're seeing it both on the patient side. So that's a really advanced thing we've seen. I would say when it comes to AI, we then have to narrow it down by area of specialty, right? How is primary care using AI in healthcare? It's different from how mental health is using it, right? It's different from how radiology is using it. It's different from how ophthalmology is using it, if they're even using it, depending on the practice. When it comes to AI, you have to look at your organization setup. Health system, provider organizations with a lot of money are more likely to adopt it. Providers, small organizations may not be able to adopt it, but it doesn't mean that they're not innovative. They may have to go for a different type of innovation, right? AI is AI, but at the end of the day, it's looking at the metrics you're trying to achieve. You're trying to lower cost, and for who? Because you can lower the provider cost, you can lower the payer cost, you can lower the patient cost, but you have to set your metrics upfront before you adopt and choose your AI. Don't set your metrics after you implement your AI. That is not a positive way of implementing AI. So if your goal is to improve outcome, increase better engagement, and decrease cost, you want to know those metrics upfront, those goals you're trying to achieve, and then go search for the AI. You also want to ensure that you are not overpaying out of pocket for your AI, right? Because it's quite expensive, per provider per month, per member per month. I see some of the cost and it breaks my heart, because I know a lot of times people think providers are expensive. They really don't understand the reimbursement metrics that goes into some of this and the overhead cost. So I say go for a technology that works best for you. And if possible, pilot. Ask for a free pilot and see if that's going to work for you first. This was an advice I got from a CIO. They said, we have tech people knocking on our doors. We buy them, we use them. Some of them are worth it. Some of them, there's no ROI. But when we pilot, we get to make that day-to-day decision if this is something we can advance, we can enhance, and if it's truly going to be an ROI for us. So I say, do your research. Don't go with the bling bling out there. The bling bling out there doesn't work for everyone.
That's excellent advice, Dr. Kamalafe, because everybody, something new can be a little bit anxiety provoking, and there's so much noise around AI. And, honestly, I think we should just embrace it. So the more that we kind of get to know it, the more comfortable we can become with it. But again, AI is different for each healthcare industry. Like you said, know your matrix up front, then choose the AI that's specific for you. But, ask for, a pilot, and or if there's an entry level pricing structure. But do your research is the most important takeaway point there as well. So good advice. And then, definitely AI is supposed to help bring more efficiency to your delivery process on both sides of the fence as well. You had mentioned that at the symposium you had individual companies that talked about apps, right, for their individual industries per se. And we are so tech savvy. Patients really come to really want these types of engagements or interfaces, right? It There's some barriers, right, to some of the older people that are not really open to the technology. Any advice or that you've been given or seen to help transition those individuals into this world of technology?
Yes, I always say when you're implementing technology innovation and interventions, implement it based on the age groups you have. We've heard things like baby boomers are not tech savvy. That's a yes or no. Some of them have grandkids who have elevated their tech savviness to the next level, while some of them have just not had that capacity to elevate it. Right. So in some cases, it could be that it's all on the provider. I've seen a provider organization that just give biometric watch to patients, baby boomers, and say, go ahead and wear this. And it's integrated into the EHR. They do all the work, right? They call and say, we need to see you because they've been watching in the back end. So I would say implement your interventions based on the age group that you're setting up that interventions for, which is what population health management is. A lot of times we see one size fits all, and then we wonder why we're not getting good metrics, right? The interventions you would set for baby boomers may be different from Gen Xers. The interventions for moms who have kids less than 7, 10 years old is different from the interventions of people who have kids in college. So look at the group, narrow down your group, select your group, look at the baseline, do your exclusions of people within the groups that would not be a good case study or good for the interventions, and then proceed.
Amazing. I love that. Age specific digital health applications, right? So that's very important. Dr. Kamalafe, who would be an ideal client for you? And then let's talk about some of the services that you offer specifically too.
Absolutely. Our ideal clients are mostly health systems and healthcare technology and regulatory agency. One of our area of expertise is regulatory implementation and interpretation and policy development. So what we typically do is we go into health systems, health plans, and provide organizations to help implement their policies, working in collaboration with them, especially
Mm.
when they have regulatory implications to them, either national regulatory requirements or statewide regulatory requirements. Another aspect of our clientele are the tech industries, right? How do you understand how to bring integrated health into your technology? I just gave this example at the talk where I was, is when you look at the biometric watch, people are thinking biometric watch. When I see a biometric watch, I'm seeing integrated health, right? Because the biometric watch can tell you how long a patient slept. If a patient slept for 2 hours straight for 5 days straight, now we are seeing a pattern that could be
Mm.
insomnia. We have definitely some sleep challenges going on, which is physical health, right? From a mental health perspective, it could be some anxiety, stress, or depression going on. When you look at it from my perspective of being an integrated health expert, I'm bringing integrated health perception into that and helping to develop interventions that would better advance that technology usage, both for the provider, patients, and for the healthcare company. So the way we implement integrated health is really looking at our integrated health from the lens of a provider, a patient, a payer, healthcare technology, and policymaker. So those five people would be our real ideal clients.
Well, that's total comprehensive, totally comprehensive. I mean, the way that your organization looks at the picture, and that's what's needed to forward positive change that has best practice outcomes for everyone. It's a win-win situation for all of those five different entities. That's really wonderful. That's so
Absolutely.
great. Wow. Okay. So is there anything else that you'd like to leave the viewers or listeners with, before we end our interview here?
Yes, I would say, regardless of the medical specialty that you're engaged in, regardless of the innovation you're engaged in. If you're a tech company or if you're a provider with a different type of medical specialty, primary care, urology, ophthalmology, um, look at this from an integrated lens. You don't have to do this on your own. You can, reach out to experts like me to come in and bring our integrated lens to help you advance the use of your technology for positive outcome. And at the end of the day, look at the clientele you're trying to serve, right? Make sure they can use that technology, not just from your perspective, but from their perspective. And I will say, continuous education. None of us know it all, right? Having a routine where you're continuously educating yourself to help improve healthcare. I said it this morning at the event where I was speaking, and I'll say it again. Healthcare is you and I. Healthcare are the individuals working in it. We have the systemic healthcare, but the people who are truly delivering healthcare are you and I. And as we wake up every morning, we're giving our best. We may have systemic challenges, which we will overcome. We will definitely overcome it, but we need to continue to encourage each other and give each other room for innovation and growth. Let's adopt a growth mindset in healthcare.
Wow. Okay, that's amazing. I know that you are on the Forbes expert panel, and you certainly deliver excellent information. And I love how you include, the individual first line, these individuals that are on the front lines, right? And it's you and I that can make a difference in that, to continue your education and just really believe in yourself with regard to making a difference. You're not just by yourself, and that there are other resources out there that I particularly don't always look at all of those five entities, in terms of integrating everything into my practice, because I'm Dr. Nancy's integrative medicine, and I think of it from a different lens. So it's so important to diversify your portfolio and your plan, that your people that help, in your organization to help make it better, is to think outside the box, because bringing in the technology, of course, the biometrics, yes, but the innovation part that is your expertise. It just really is very comprehensive. So I really appreciate you coming on today. And you always are so informative. And everyone, if you have questions, you want Dr. Komalafi and her team to come into your organization to take a bird's eye view on how they can make what you do even better, because once you feel like you've arrived, that's when things happen. So we have to constantly continue to evolve and strive to be better, right, Dr. Komalafe? So that's important.
Absolutely. Continuous growth. Reach out, network, collaborate, partner, speak up. That's the way to achieve success. And that's the way to help healthcare. Because, as providers, as investors, as innovators in healthcare, we cannot do it alone. We need each other.
We cannot. So I'll leave everyone with this. And I often say that, we are stronger together. So listen, stay tuned every Wednesday for Wellness Wednesdays. And we are going to say bye for now, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.